Alrighty guys, so been waiting to make a video because I've gotten a few things recently and just been waiting for them to get to me. You know, the last video I talked about how I had gotten kind of fucked over with you know, getting screwed over on a couple different bids with first a guitar, then a bag of picks, and then, or bag of vintage nice picks, and then a whammy pedal. And I can't remember who on my list said it, but someone told me, you know, that shit like that comes in threes, so maybe the next, you know, your next little ordeal, you'll win it. You sure as shit. I won this guy, which is Digitech whammy pedal. This is the 4th generation. They're in the 5th generation now. But these still go for the same price they did when they were fucking brand new. I mean, when they had just come out. They're still great pedals. And, you know, they go for like 200 bucks. You know, they're not a very cheap pedal because they do quite a few different things. They do harmonies and they detune and of course the whammy effect. But very excited that I got this pedal. You know, I ordered a, here's where the shit comes in though, because nothing with me ever happens smoothly. There's got to be a bunch of rocky shit along the way until I finally, you know, get what I'm actually going for. So I ordered the thing. I win this. Well, first I bid on another one, and the guy, I asked him about, I was like, look, can I just, if I sent you this delay pedal I have, my Akai delay pedal, and can I just get this now for 75 bucks? He's like, oh dude, yeah, if you threw in the delay pedal, you got yourself a deal. And so I messaged him. I'm like, all right, let's set this up. Let's do it. Nothing. Let's hit him up again. I'm like, let's fucking do something. Like, what the fuck, dude? You just said you were all about the deal. And didn't hit me up again. Okay, so I just bid on it just so I would be sure that, well, maybe I could get it within this price range and not have to really give him my delay pedal. And so another pedal came along, which was this one, which was a little bit less, and I bid on that one and won it before this guy's shit ran out. And so when I won this one, I went to that guy and I'm like, all right, cancel my bid, because I couldn't cancel my bid because you have to do it like 24 hours earlier, and I had just won this pedal. So I was like, you're gonna have to cancel my bid. And of course, then he immediately fucking messages me back and is like, oh, well, I don't know how to do that stuff and this and that. And I'm like, all right. You just go into your settings and, you know, go into your profile on bids and things like that and cancel my bid. That's all you do. It's not fucking rocket science. But he waited and let it for it to run out and shit. And, you know, I was like, well, I'm not paying for it. I'm not, you know. For one, I offered you a fucking deal for it in the first place, and you kind of just shit that away. So he's like, well, I mean, you really should have canceled it earlier so I could have gotten the next bid down. I'm like, well, you really should have fucking answered me when I asked you to get the pedal in the first place. I mean, holy shit. And then when I try to cancel, it's on you to cancel the bid at that point. If you only have 24 hours left, it's on you, not me. But anyways, got past that shit. This guy sends me this pedal, and for some reason, the post office sends it straight back to him. And there's nothing wrong with the, you know, my address or anything. He wrote it out all clear. Nothing's wrong. They had absolutely no fucking excuse or anything for why they did that. So I just had to wait twice as long to get the fucking package because, well, whatever, you know. We're the U.S. Postal Service. We just don't give a shit, you know. It doesn't matter. If we fuck up, you know, whatever. So I'm like, okay, all right. And the guy's like, I know, dude. I don't get it. It's the stupidest shit I've seen. I was like, well, do I get a fucking discount on the shipping then? Because You know, I paid for shipping. It's not like the shipping was free. I'm not to him or anything. I'm talking about to the post office. But I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Okay. So I order, it didn't come with an adapter. So I order this adapter, which says that it works for whammy pedals. And then I go to plug the motherfucker in, and it doesn't fit. And I realized that the fucking port right here, they made this little prong inside the input here too wide to fit in there. You know, sometimes you're just too thick and it doesn't fit in the hole. So you gotta get one that accommodates the bigger one. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I was pretty pissed about that. I'm like, oh, I finally get this pedal. Fuck yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's plug this fucker in, dude. I want to hear what it sounds like. And try to plug it in, and the thing just won't go. And these don't work. They don't have batteries. There's no place to put in batteries. You have to have the adapter. So, of course, I had to go through and pay twice as much for a specific fucking adapter because, for some reason, you know, this is the same thing. It's a 9 volt, 9 VAC, 50 to 60 hertz. Same exact thing as any other fucking pedal, Boss pedals, anything like that. But for some reason, to be dicks, and so that you'd have to get their specific adapter, they make this little input prong bigger. I'm like, oh, you fuckers, man. So of course I get this and shit and not able to try it out. I just got it today. Been waiting forever. Also got another little surprise, and I've been debating on if I want to even, you know, talk about it here, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to end up guessing what it would be anyway if I even give anything out. So I bid on a 7-string and I won, and I'm very, 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 very excited to get this fucking guitar. I'm worried because the guitar is coming all the way from New York, and I live in Washington, and it has no case. So it's coming UPS, and you know, my father has worked for UPS basically my whole life, and I understand how they kind of work, and you know, around here they're pretty good, but around the country, sometimes those UPS guys in the warehouses and shit like that just don't really give a fuck about people's packages, and we'll just kind of throw them around. And this is a very nice, valuable guitar that I got for a fucking smoking deal for what it is. $490 with like 28 something dollars shipping, something like that. It's an Ibanez 7-string, but it's an Apex 2, and it's the Korn's signature guitar, but it's like I think it was like their third one maybe, because they had the K7, and I think they had just the Apex, which had the tremolo still, kind of like the K7, and then the Apex 2 is, you know, tune-o-matic like this with string through body. And that's one of the reasons I got it, because, you know, all the other hardtail 7-strings of Ibanez, they string straight through where the bridge is at. Well, when you have this extra bit of string back here and this break angle, creates a little bit more tension on the strings. So I was like, well, maybe that will make up for just slightly for the fact that this guitar isn't the longer scale. Which I said, you know, I wasn't going to compromise, but when I saw this guitar, this is a guitar that, you know, it's very seldom you ever even see these up for sale. You know, they're sought after guitars. They're not really guitars that people really tend to give up. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my fucking god. And the bid was so low, it was like, I have to try. I mean, I had a big old bid war and shit. It was really exciting. Up to the very last second, guy almost beat me out, but got him. So I've been waiting for that. Really excited for that to get here. So I'll do a whole video on that and stuff. And hopefully when I get that, you know, I'll have the adapter for this guy, and then I could hook them all up and stuff, and then I can kind of go through some sounds that Korn used to do, because I've been really on this fucking Korn kick lately, and it's not even so much, you know, about just like guitar tone. Like, I love their guitar tone. It's probably one of my favorite guitar tones of all guitar tone in the fucking like heavy metal world. But the way they utilized effects and, you know, weird sounds, and their, you know, call and return sort of playing that they had, going back and forth with each other, doing weird sounds that kind of, it was a really eclectic, odd kind of deal. It was fun. I mean, I loved that type of music from their first album all the way up to the Untouchables album. Just incredible guitar playing. And, you know, most people, you know, act like they're not good guitar players because they don't sit there and fucking shred and play solos and shit, which I hate any guitar player that thinks that you're not a good guitar player just because you don't sit there and play a bunch of solos. Those are ignorant guitar players. Those aren't, I'll say it this way, they're just guitar players. They're not musicians. They don't know what making music is, and, you know, what the entire band aspect entails. They want to be fucking Steve Vai up there just like jerking themselves off on stage into people's faces. I'm not like that. I want to create music, you know, fun shit to listen to, something interesting to listen to. And that, above all, was the best part about Korn, is their music was so fucking interesting. Nowadays, they've kind of fallen off the bandwagon with the whole fucking techno and dubstep shit, and even though they had a couple good songs with the dubstep shit, but I fucking hate dubstep. But I wish they would get away from so much of the electronic sound and go back to their guitar sound, where it's head and monkey, utilizing, you know, just an array of effects that kind of complement each other, and they go back and forth and do all these weird things. That was the amazing part of that band, the way they played their guitars and the way they utilized effects with their guitars to make it sound like something completely different. Like, they used to have electronics type sounds and shit, but they did it with their guitars. They didn't actually have like electronic, you know, samplers and shit doing this stuff. That's what bums me out about them nowadays. And it's like all you hear. You don't get to hear the fucking raw, like just chunky ass girthy guitar that they have. So hopefully their next album that they make is going to go back to some of that. And they say it is. They said it's going to be a really guitar-focused album again, like their old ones. But anyone out there, go and listen to like Korn's first album, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, Issues, and Untouchables. Those albums are just incredible with guitars and different sounds and shit. They utilize a lot of the whammy pedal. That's why I really wanted this. That and, you know, playing some Pantera shit, and then trying to come up with my own stuff to do, you know, my own sounds and things like that. Because I used to be one of those guitar players that was like, no, plug in and play. I literally had no effects whatsoever, had no pedals. All I've ever had is a noise suppressor, which has been stolen at like three different times at, you know, shows that I've played and stuff. But yeah, that's all I used to play with. And I never even used to have a tube screamer or anything. I just used to plug into my amp and crank it up. And that was cool. I mean, you know, lots of people do that and it's great. I mean, it's nothing wrong with doing that, but I love having different, you know, kind of flavors to sit there and play with. Different things I can do, and these little sounds, just little accents and things like that. I love that about music, you know, when people utilize weird sounds and things like that. And sometimes, you know, pedals like this can create entire songs, you know, just from a sound that you come up with, and it's like, oh my god, yeah, that's it. So hopefully I'll be able to show some of that stuff when I get my 7-string, because that's what I've been waiting for. I can't wait to have a 7-string finally, but I'll show it off as soon as it gets here. So stay tuned for that. Until next time.